So today we are on unit 3.3. See, there you go, it's recording.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear us?
Yes, it can.
Hi guys.
Oh goodness.
Okay, so we're on unit 3.3, and what we're going to work on today is add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. Add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So, a couple of definitions that I want to make sure you understand. The first term that I want to make sure you know is a monomial. Okay, and a monomial, hopefully if you know any of the prefixes, mono means one. Okay, so a monomial is one term. Okay, one term. So a monomial could look something like just an X, or a monomial is also when you have multiple letters together, but they're not attached by pluses or minuses. Okay, so if I gave you like negative 3xy squared, that is also a monomial because there's nothing in between the parts. Okay, they're not attached by a plus or minus, it's all one together. So that is still a monomial. The next one I want to make sure you know is a binomial. Okay, the prefix bi means two, nomial means term. So here this is two terms. Okay, and a binomial is two terms and they're attached together by an add or subtract. So a binomial would be something like x plus 4. Okay, so if it has a plus or minus in between the parts, that's considered a binomial, and that's two terms. Okay, the next one you need to know is a trinomial. Tri, the prefix tri is 3, so this is 3 terms. 3 terms, so something like x squared plus x plus 7, that's a trinomial. That's 3 terms. And the last kind of vocab word I want you to know is polynomial. Polynomial. Poly just means many terms. So this is many terms. Technically, anything more than one is considered a polynomial. So you could say that a binomial is also a polynomial. Okay, so anything more than one term means a polynomial. So today we're going to add, subtract, and multiply lots of terms. That's all that means. We're going to add, subtract, and multiply many terms. Okay, your first instructions are going to tell you to find the sum or difference. Yep. Find the sum or difference. Finding the sum is when you add things together. The word sum means add. Find the difference is when you are going to subtract. So that's kind of just our math way of saying add or subtract the things together. Okay, so for number 1, I would like you to find the sum of 4x cubed, remember cubed means exponent of 3, plus 4x squared, so that's an exponent of 2, minus 3x plus 10, and add to that the polynomial negative 5x cubed minus 2x squared, subtract 4x minus 4. Okay, now, the reason these are in parentheses right now is because sometimes you have to distribute. Here we are technically distributing a plus sign. Does just distributing a plus sign change anything? No, nothing changes. So really, I just dropped the bars. Okay, so if you drop the bars, just rewrite this. 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x plus 10. Now, we don't want to write plus minus because it just confuses people. So the plus goes away. We just write subtract 5x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x minus 4. Now, this is just a matter of like terms, okay? To be a like term, okay? So really, we're just going to combine like terms here. to be a like terms, okay, like terms have same combination of variables. Remember, variables are letters. So they have the same combination of variables. So that means they also have the same exponent numbers on their variables. So here, like terms would be the x cubes, so anything with an x to the third. Also, the x squareds are like terms. The x's, just the x's by themselves are like terms. And also the numbers. Because technically, this has a combination, the same combination of variables, it has none. Okay, so those are like terms. Now, whenever you write your answers, answers need to be in what form, what order? Does anyone remember? Alphabetical, but also all answers in descending order. Okay, descending exponent order. So descending exponent order. Answers in descending exponent number. Okay, descending meaning biggest to smallest. So largest to smallest. So if I write my answer here, first I'm going to add together the x cubes. So 4 minus 5 gives you negative x cubed. If you wrote negative 1, that's fine, but you don't have to write the 1 there. Okay, and remember, we're only adding together the coefficients, only adding or subtracting the numbers. Do not change anything with the exponent numbers. Now, I would also suggest that once you've put combined like terms, cross them out, just to make sure that if you have a really long problem, you're not going to miss anything, right? Then we'd go to the x squares. So 4x squared minus 2x squared gives you plus 2x squared. I combined them, so I'm going to just cross them out. Now, don't completely cross them out, just in case you need to go check your work, so don't black them out. But negative 3x, negative 4x gives you minus 7x. And finally, add together your numbers. 10 minus 4 gives you plus 6. That's the answer that we're looking for. So first part of what we're doing today is just combine like terms. So find the sum or find the difference. Next one, same thing. I want you to find the sum or the difference of the following polynomials. The first one is 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 7x plus 12. Subtract the polynomial negative 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x minus 3. Now, technically, we need to distribute this negative. So distribute the negative to all the parts that are in the parentheses. Okay, it goes to every part. And then drop the parentheses and rewrite this. So we have 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 7x plus 12. Negative negative turns to be plus 4x cubed. Positive times negative is minus 6x squared. Another negative times positive gives you minus 9x. And negative negative is plus 3. Then combine your like terms. So you're going to put the x cubes together. Put the x squares together. The other like terms are just the x's. And finally, put together the numbers. Okay, now, combine like terms. So 3 and 4 gives you 7x cubed. I combined them, so I'm just going to cross them out so I don't make any mistakes there. Positive 4, negative 6 gives you minus 2x squared. Remember, you're not changing those exponent numbers at all. Then positive 7, negative 9 is minus 2x. And finally, 12 plus 3 is plus 15. Yes. Yeah, you have to write down the whole problem. Yes.
I guarantee I'll do a lot better on this test than last one.
Now, that's find the sum or the difference. The next thing is we're going to go on to find the product. Okay? The word product simply means multiply. Okay, so find the product. So we're just going to multiply. Okay, find the product. So if I ask you for example number 3 to find the product of x minus 1 quantity squared, so that means in parentheses squared, multiplied by x plus 2. X minus 1 quantity squared multiplied by x plus 2. Now, there's a really big mistake that a lot of people make. We just did exponents in the notes before this, and you could just distribute that exponent, okay? If you have a monomial, so that means one term inside, then you can distribute an exponent. But if you have a binomial, so two things attached by a plus or minus, you cannot just distribute that exponent, okay? You need to write it out 2 times. So this is actually x minus 1 and another x minus 1, then times x plus 2. So you cannot just distribute that exponent. You have to write it out 2 times. The first step to solving these is first you want to FOIL or multiply together those first 2 binomials. So we're just dealing with the x minus 1 times x minus 1. Okay, hopefully you remember FOIL, but FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, last. And it's just helping you to remember to multiply all the parts. So x times x, that's first times first, gives you x squared. The outsides means you multiply x times negative 1, so minus 1x. Insides is negative 1 times x, so another minus 1x. And last, you multiply negative 1 times negative 1, so plus 1. Those are still in parentheses. And then you're going to just bring down this x plus 2 as well. Combine your like terms, so put together the x's there, and that'll give you x squared minus 2x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. Now, I'm going to show you 3 different methods to multiplying polynomials. Okay, so we're not doing binomial times binomial, so you can't do FOIL anymore. I'm going to show you 3 different methods to doing this. Okay, the first one is Punnett squares. Okay, or the boxes. If you've taken biology, you've seen this before with genetic traits. All you do is you line up the bigger one. We're going to put our boxes. These are the multiplication boxes. They're technically called Punnett squares. And then line up something down the side. And you are going to actually multiply. So x squared times x gives you x cubed. Negative 2x times x gives you minus 2x squared. 1 times x gives us plus 1x. If you don't put the 1, you just put x, that's fine. Then multiply. Positive 2 times x squared gives you plus 2x squared. Negative 2x times 2 gives you minus 4x. And finally, 1 times 2 is plus 2. When you combine your like terms, they are diagonal of one another. You still need to write your answer, however, in descending order. So the biggest exponent number there is x cubed. Positive 2x squared and negative 2x squared cancel each other out. So there is no x squared term. Then negative 4x plus 1x gives you negative 3x. And finally, plus 2. So that's something called the Punnett squares, or the box method. Those are the boxes.